Okay, so the truth is that the Sig P320 is probably one of the safest pistol designs ever. And I'm frankly tired of arguing about it. Because you can poke this thing and prod this thing, but unless you depress that trigger, it's not going to fire. Except it just did. Holy shit, it fired twice. Oh my God. You know, I came out here to make a video about how I'm not buying the anti-Sig P320 thing, and I didn't up until just now believe that the gun could fire without the trigger fully depressed. I made a video about that about 7 or 8 months ago, and it was a very unpopular video. Nobody agreed with me. Very few people agreed with me, but that's the way I really felt. And then all this news that's come out in the last few weeks, I mean, it's been ongoing for months, but in the last few weeks, there was a serviceman that was killed, and it's complicated. First they said he set his pistol down, then it was somebody else that touched it. You know, but there's all this negative stuff, and there's all these videos of people showing that the gun will fire if the trigger's not pulled all the way or not at all, and usually in dry fire. And it just ticked me off. I didn't agree with it, so I came out here to do this video. And then just now, I mean, I'll have to watch the video, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have my finger in the trigger guard. I didn't touch the trigger. I'm very disciplined about that, especially with a semi-automatic. And that thing went off. In fact, I think it went off twice, just by setting it down a little rough and touching it a little bit. I mean, it should tolerate that, no problem. You know, my God, this completely changes my view of this whole subject. You know, whew, man, that is an adrenaline thing. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I've carried these guns for years. I've competed with them. I've never had anything like that happen before. This gun is, I'm going to double check it. I know it's unloaded, but after that incident, this gun has served me very, very well. It's never done that. And I guess under just the right circumstance, it can fire on its own without the trigger being depressed to the rear. That's scary. I mean, that's totally unacceptable. I really didn't think that was possible. I was chalking all these incidences up to either somebody had their finger on the trigger, or they had a garment tangled in the holster, or some piece of debris in the holster. You know, because all these videos show that the holster's moved and contorted in some way. There's some pressure put on it. If there's something in there, it could press on the trigger, you know, but I didn't have a holster here. I didn't have my finger in the trigger guard. I didn't have my finger on the trigger. I just touched it. I was touching it, but I didn't touch the trigger. And this is crazy. But I think the main point of this video is that if you think that what you just saw proves that the Sig P320 can be fired without the trigger being depressed, if that's what you believe after watching this video, then that means you're gullible. Because there's a million ways to make this thing appear to fire without pressing the trigger. And I'm going to show you the simple little way I just did. If I turn this table like this, you should be able to see a little screw sticking up here, about 5/8 of an inch. I put that in there, and what I did was I just set the gun down on the screw, and I poked and prodded at it a little bit, and then I just pressed it forward, and I pressed the screw against the trigger, and the trigger was depressed, and the gun went off twice. I didn't expect the twice part, but I figured it would go off once, because when you pull the trigger on a properly functioning gun that's loaded, it fires. And so my point of this video is not that I know for sure that there's no malfunctioning Sig P320s. I don't know for sure. Maybe there are some that do malfunction. Maybe there's a whole lot batch number, lot, thousands of them that malfunction. I don't know. But when you see stuff on YouTube, that's not a scientific study. That's not a scientific test. That's people on YouTube trying to trick you in to viewing their video, and it's worth a lot of money if they get a lot of views. And I guarantee you there's a lot of creators out there that are willing to do all kinds of things to their gun to make it do whatever they want it to do that's totally outside the norm of gunsmithing or any other normal procedure. Now, I didn't do anything to the gun. I just did something to the table, something simple. In a couple of minutes, I rigged this up and demonstrated that you can be fooled by a YouTube video. So just be careful what you believe. And I'm not saying that I know that all these YouTube videos are fake. I don't know that. But there's a bunch of videos on there, and guys can get this thing to fire without touching the trigger, moving it just a little bit and wiggling this or that. And I'll bet you that at least some of those, if not all of them, the gun has been, I hate to say the word, I'll say customized in some way to make it do that. It certainly could be. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but you don't know that. And just because they say, this is a stock gun, I haven't done anything to it. People lie. People lie about that kind of stuff. Just like I lied to you and said that I didn't press the trigger. Well, I didn't press it with my finger, but I pressed the trigger with that screw. And just like you could be fooled here, you could be fooled somewhere else. So wait for an honest-to-God scientific test by an independent party before you draw your conclusions about the Sig P320 or anything else. You know. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you on the next video.